Hello, this is Yohana Soto, and this is my application project. So my journey was divided in five stages where I started with understanding the needs, the problems, and then prototyping and got insights. About the first stage, which was empathize, was launch survey with getting information for 33 needy students, and we got that 80% of them report faced difficulties finding a job. In order to compile all of that information, was creating this user persona, which is a dramatic representation of all the information that we got in that survey. Finally, I would like to introduce you Maria Gonzalez, who is 32 years old, Colombian. She's an international student and she's studying business here in Canada, but she already has a background in business administration in her home country. She's looking to get secure, to get a full-time job in her field. She wants to create a strong professional network to access better opportunities. She feels a sense of belonging and integration in the Canadian workplace. She wants to achieve finance stability because she's paying the student loan. Motivations, she wants to prove herself that she can build this new life to her and her family. She values workplace that promote diversity and inclusivity. In the second stage was define the needs and problems. The needs is she needs to get accessible resource to improve the communication skills and get self-confidence. Easy process to recognize international credentials, cultural sensitive mentorship programs with industry professionals. She's looking for that kind of mentorship, but directly by the industry, and greater transparency and feedback in the job application process. About frustrations, she feels that the Canadian employers prioritize Canadian experience over her years of experience, international experience. She receives nothing, zero, no feedback after interviews, leaving her unsure about how to improve. She feels isolated due to a lack of professional network, the limited time to attend events. She struggles with her accent and fears it might affect her chance to get a job. And she finds hiring processes super unclear, slow, and often feel ignored after applying. Behaviors, she always search for jobs online by using platforms like LinkedIn, Indeed, Workopolis. She doesn't attend any local workshops or webinars focused on her career because she feels that she doesn't have the time to balance the personal commitments with the job hunting. And she hesitates to apply for leadership roles because she feels that she doesn't have the right background to face that kind of challenge. In the third stage was identify the assumptions and create the ideas to solve it. The methodology that was used was skins, pains, and customer jobs. Finding like this kind of frustration, time consuming to get all of that customer jobs. That was translated to this gain, pain, and product service development. One and was created in total 5 ideas about how to solve it. And in order to do that, was create a list to become assumptions or hypotheses in order to check all of that information. Based on the higher impact, confidence, and how easy could be applied it was select the one of this of them was that the inconscious bias among employees leads to fewer opportunities for immigrants applications. So in order to test that hypothesis was created a test card and was created a scenario in order to test that hypothesis. So the main one was that we believe that unconscious bias among employers leads to fewer opportunities for immigrants applicants, even if they possess the required qualifications. So was created an experiment. The experiment was to create to record a video assessing the skills for 3 candidates in the presentation, which is going to be attached to this video, was creating evaluation for. And for the hiring managers, we told them that just in the real life, all of them are Canadian, but in the format, we told them that one of these person was an immigrant student without a Canadian experience. The insights. So this is the learning card. We believe that by using videos, we could test evaluator bias by introducing a blind assessment in the way that the evaluators were unable to hear accent, language, or cultural expression. So no sound was included in that video. And the idea as well was, as I told you, label one of them as no Canadian person and without Canadian experience. But all of them already have a Canadian experience. What we observed, the situation was that the evaluators struggling to engage with the video because the video doesn't include sound. So that unfortunately didn't allow us to get a really good information about the evaluator bias. The lack of clear visual and sounds reduced the evaluator's motivation to participate and engage in the video, and that was a negative impact their ability to evaluate the candidate reactions. And yes, and I couldn't test effectively. So what I learned that the experiment per se was unsuccessful because it was difficult to assess the evaluator biases because the video failed to engage them effectively with the exercise. The lack of sound in the videos proved to be significant distraction for evaluators and reducing their engagement and focus. Therefore, for the next step, it's required to implement a different strategy to better demonstrate the relation between candidate qualifications and evaluator bias. That this must be included approach a kind of interactive exercise, improve video presentations, or maybe any kind of real scenario in order to face them, the technical, like to avoid the technical distractions. So what I learned that maybe for the next step, I will create a real scenario instead to create a video because that can test a little bit more the bias between the maybe the international experience versus Canadian experience and check if that was a real bias in that. So finally, I will say that maybe I didn't fail. Maybe the failure is part of the innovation process, and I will keep tracking until I am gonna try again to validate the assumptions, and if that test that we don't have bias, so I will continue with the other assumptions that was that the networking or the lack of time for the newcomers to be part of their network, really affect their opportunity to get involved in the Canadian experience. That's it. Thank you so much for your time, for this opportunity. Super helpful, and bye-bye.